What's up? Early in the morning. I'm going to try to keep this as short as I possibly can and just give you guys an update on what's going on and what we can expect with the coming magnetic storm. It definitely is coming. There's enough data in now that we can talk about what is probably going to happen. And we'll go from there. Yeah, I got a scratchy throat myself. I'm sure you guys could probably hear that. Hey, Forrest Gump. Hey, we might have to come hang out with you down in the great state of Alabama. People call me Wages World. I'm Wages World. People call me Wages World. That's right. That is right. Anyway, good morning to everybody. First off, I'd like to say thanks for coming and watching and doing whatever we do here. I do appreciate everybody. Sherry Boo in the house first. You are the winner. You get the honorary ding ding. Anyway, Knowledge 2020. Good to see you. E-Rock in the hizzy. Aronde. Good to see you. I think I've seen you in here a couple times before. Let's see here. Sherry again. Tam Tam, what's going on? Tracy, Johnny, David Shannon, Kathy, Stephanie, Mary, Forrest again, G3-4, hey. Jeff Parker, what's up? Jupiter. Oh, man. Christy, Johnny, Shannon, what's up? Robin, T, K, what's up? Kathy. Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get into this, guys. Yeah. We're going to start here with the Schumann. Okay. Now, you're seeing a pretty decent spike there, guys. This is on the disclosure site. This is the one that's in Italy. Now, it's showing that, you know, like at 100 hertz up here. Okay. You know, that's significant, but it's not like humongous or anything like that, I wouldn't think, judging by the other ones that we've seen in the past. If we can, you know, trust this or trust it to the point where we can talk about it anyway. I do think that this is legit, all right? And why I say that is that we have different tools on the Schumann around the world. And I've talked about this at length. I'm not going to go too much into it today, but definitely some increased frequency there, okay? But this is the one that's in Russia. And obviously we've seen a spike here too, but it wasn't at the exact same time, I don't think. Now remember, when you're looking at this Russian tool, this is local time. Okay? This is one of the few that use local time. I don't know why they do that way, because the majority of things that are being used on a mass scale are done on UTC, so everybody can stay on the same time and adjust for where they live. This one does not do that. This one, I believe, is on UTC. So these could actually match up. I don't think they are, though, because they're not really showing the same kind of spiking. So, you know, anyway, why do we look at this? Well, because it can affect us, you know, mentally, physically. You know, we're seeing a spike here, too, closer to real time. Plus, we had this increase in frequency right around about the 33 hertz level, 34. That was pretty intense, and it lasted for a day. I often wonder what caused that, you know. And again, guys, local conditions can mess with these things too. Thunderstorms is what I go to every time. Because thunderstorms or just storms in general, you know, earthquakes that are local can do this. All that kind of stuff. But we have to understand that this does affect us physically. They do look at this for all heart conditions and stuff now. A lot of heart institutes will look at this. You know, they're using it to help diagnose patients and help cure patients. So that should really show you how important this actually is. Hey, Arizona, what's up? King Honey, okay. Minor, yep, yes. Guys, let me say first off, before we get into this, and I'm going to leave the chat. Matter of fact, I'm going to pull that down for a second, because I want to make something extremely clear right here, okay? And that is, there is absolutely no fear in what I'm getting ready to tell you. There's absolutely no fear whatsoever in my voice. There's no fear in my heart, my head, my mind. And I really hope that you guys feel the same way. None of this stuff I'm getting ready to show you is worth getting upset about. It's not worth getting all worked up about. It's none of that. Okay? Let me say this. What I'm getting ready to show you, most likely, is not power outage time. Not massive. We're not talking global grid down and stuff like that. That's not what we're talking about here, guys. Okay? I have to say. What's up, Farkas? Axe, you're in the house. Good job. Hey, good to see you. Eve, Cosmo. But let me say that first and foremost, okay? And the second thing I would say is what I'm going to talk about today, I absolutely take no joy in showing and pointing things out. And you'll see what I mean when I'm talking about that here in a minute. I hate doing it, matter of fact. Everything I've been talking about for a while now, we'll get to that in a second. But no fear, okay? I'm dead serious about that. I don't fear any of this. And you guys shouldn't either. Because it's nothing really to, number one, we can't control it. That's the biggest thing I always go to. If you can't control it, why would you let it affect you in a way that would have you running around being crazy? And if just take for example, if something bad was to, like extremely bad was to happen, would you really want to spend your time being scared before that happened? Now, I'm not saying any of this stuff is any kind of extremely, like I said, because I'm not. I don't think it's going to be like that. I do think that we're going to have some issues. I don't know if we're all going to see big issues, but I think we're going to see some. And I'll get into that right now. But just no fear. Please stay away from that. Anybody out there telling you to go dig a hole, stick your head in it, and don't look up, you might want to question who you're listening to there. Because it's probably not the right thing to do. Trust your gut. If things start happening around you, then react. But just have yourself a little bit of a plan. That's all you have to do, and be prepped up a little. Okay? That's just kind of what I'm saying. And I really hope that that's what everybody does. You know, and I knew that when we start talking about this, as the sun stuff does get more active, I was going to have a little bit of a conversation like this. Hey, Jill, what's up? Good to see you. Hilly, what's up? Annette. Kathy. But yeah, so please, guys, just, G, what's up? Just kind of keep the nerves down a little bit, okay? You're not going to get the nerves here. I don't put this out there in such a way. Matter of fact, I tried to do it the opposite. But I'm going to give you the truth of what I think is going to happen, and now other people are agreeing with what I'm saying. So that's where I'll leave that. But so we're going to get into this. Now I just got through showing you the Schumann. Now this is the initial blast right here. Now if you just looked at this on the surface like most people do, you would have stopped and thought, well, it didn't even get into M-class range. That wasn't even as powerful as the one that was on the side of the sun last week that got into M4 class that hit us. Right? And we didn't see a whole lot of anything but a bunch of ionization in the atmosphere that did mess up some radio stuff. And we seen a little bit of a radiation storm that followed. That's all we seen. It really didn't affect me and you here on the surface. I mean, we got to be honest when we're talking about that, right? So, the radiation it rose a little bit here, just like we seen last time. See how it rose a little bit? Not big time, just a little. And then it went back down. That was the initial hit from that solar flare. Now, what we need to talk about, what's coming now. Because that's the geomagnetic activity from the CME that happened like almost 2 hours later from the same spot. It was most likely caused by the flare. It disrupted the area enough that it caused the sun to have a CME after the flare, which I've told you guys and everybody for a long time, and for, it's pretty much across the board, everybody knows that, when we have a big solar flare, usually we have a CME that follows it really, really close, if not at the exact same time. That is a known thing that happens. We know that. And most people get locked onto the word flare. And we need to not do that. Sorry. We just need not to do that. Now, why do people get scared about X flare when you hear that word X flare? Because, yes, we get big, massive X-ray from it, like right here. But what I just said, when you see a big X flare, it's a given almost that you're going to see a big CME right with it. That's the biggest danger that we typically see when we're talking about power outages and stuff like that. So we have to know the difference. Now, I have a playlist on my channel. You guys can go look at it. I'm not going to show it to you now. There's only like 4 videos on it, and it explains the difference between, it tells you what a solar flare is, it tells you what a CME is. It tells you what solar wind is, and it tells you what a sunspot is. There's 4 videos on that in that playlist that are 1.5 minutes to like 3 minutes long. That's it. And they explain straight down to the basic whatever what things are. You almost have to understand that to understand what I just said. Why these are different. They didn't used to actually differentiate between the two. They just thought it was one thing. You know, back when the Carrington event, 1859, they didn't have that differentiate then. They called it one thing because they didn't know. Now we do. So just know that, okay? Now, if we're going to look at the sun, you see this coronal hole. This isn't what's going to give us our wind. Well, it kind of is. The kind of front edge of it is, I guess, if you wanted to say it that way. We're going to get energy from this, okay? It's going to be an increased solar wind stream, and we've been talking about that even before this CME happened. I was showing it to you here. This thing showed up back here, remember? It's the same energy that hit stereo A. Now, if we were just to get, say we could wipe that away and just get this CME that's coming, that may put us into a G1, possibly a G2. That's it. But because of both of them happening at the timing that it did and that it is, this is the danger that we're talking about right now. That's why this is such a significant thing. We're going to get this increased density, which is one of the highest dense ones we've seen in this sun cycle already. So not only is this a strong solar wind stream from a coronal hole, we've now got the biggest CME that we've seen this sun cycle too. They're both happening at the same time. So we have to understand that we need to take this a little bit more serious than what we typically would. Now, you know, this is, you know, we're right here. Let me show you. We are about right here in time. Okay, maybe even a little bit further. About right here. So what are we looking at? We're looking at about this time tomorrow morning, we're going to start seeing these conditions. That's going to be high dense conditions. Okay? Now, if this timing is correct on this model, then we're going to kind of go up, we're going to go down, then we're going to probably pop back up. Okay? Now, that's assuming that this model is exactly correct. And I think most of us understand that that's not the truth of what's going to happen. So the hope here is that this is going to get delayed a little bit. Hopefully it gets delayed out another 6-12 hours, but I don't think it's going to. I got to be honest. But that is the hope. Now, if it doesn't, then we're just going to have to deal with it. Not much we can do. And what that means is that it's going to just push us up a little bit further in the geomagnetic storm level. Now, something I didn't show you guys yesterday, and what I really want to talk about here, is the fact that when I showed you guys this dense event way back here, remember me showing you the increase in solar wind speed too, that came just a little about 12 hours after, right? Well, what's happening now 12 hours after? We're getting that CME. So what's going to happen? that CME and that increased wind speed is now going to happen at the same time. That's significant, guys. That's the part of the solar wind. See, not only are we going to be juiced because the density is going to be here, but behind all that density, we're going to get smacked with some high solar wind speed, which is going to carry all those dense materials faster. And like I've explained this before, take a softball, throw it at the wall, or throw it at whatever. Have somebody throw a softball at you at 5 miles per hour. Doesn't really hurt that bad, does it? Take the same softball, throw it at you 15 miles an hour, it's going to hurt worse. That's exactly what that's doing right here. So understand that. Notice down here, we've not seen these pink colors down here. I can't remember the last time. You know, you're looking at close to 900 kilometers per second right there. That's over 2 million miles per hour. And that's on the Enlil model. This model doesn't show speeds that fast, hardly ever. Now we see it on the ISWA magnetopause models on that one solar windstream model I've been talking about. But I've also questioned the validity of the speed of that, how accurate that is. Because this is the only model that shows speeds really, really fast. Only model. None of the other ones show that stuff. So I have a hard time thinking that that one's correct. The rest of them, you know, they all kind of come in right around the same speed. So as we see this, not only are we going to, you know, have this increase in wind, guys, it don't go away right away. It's sticking around. You see that? So whatever conditions we get to, we'll get to however height we're going to get to, and we might drop back down a little bit, and then we'll probably stay there for a minute. Okay? That's kind of what it looks like. Now, all that I just said, I hope I'm completely wrong. I hope I could come out here tomorrow and tell you I'm a stupid idiot, and I was completely wrong. I really do. Now, I'm going to say this too. I don't take any pleasure in this. What have I been talking about for a while now? And I'm going to show it to you here in just a second, because I'm hearing people all over YouTube right now saying the exact same thing I've been saying for a year now. I mean, I literally heard them say almost the same words I've been saying for almost a year, and nobody else has said it. And I mean nobody. Scott was talking about the increase, and I was too. That's about as far as it went. And I was hoping I was going to be wrong. And what I'm talking about is this. Let me get, where's my thing here? Right here. This right here is your sun cycle. Okay? And I've been trying to explain to everybody the increase that we're seeing. I even did this yesterday, before anybody else came out after my video yesterday, or did their videos today or whatever. The same year in the solar cycle last year, from 2019, the comparative year from the previous solar cycle was at 73% no sunspots facing the Earth. In 2019, it was 77. So we went deeper into a minimum, right? The next year following was only a 2% increase. Guys, we're seeing a 17% increase right now. I don't think anybody expected to see that number. I don't. Now, if we're talking about, like, say, this year, 220 to 221 to 2021, that comparative year would be this one, 2009 to 2010, and that was a massive increase. You see that? 71 to 14%. But why is this significant? Well, because our magnetic field is 20 to 25% weaker. We are weaker now. This is why this massive increase this early is not good. It's not a good thing. And I seriously, how many times have I said I hope I'm wrong when it comes to this kind of stuff? I don't like doing this at all. I hate it. I wish I could come on here, just give you guys the data and just walk away. But I can't. I just can't do that. And I'm not even going to waste my time showing you guys this magnetopause model today because there's really not much to see. I'll show you this instead. Everything here is normal. Solar wind speed, density, temperature. The phi angle did do a polarity flip right there, which means we got tugged on a little bit. The angle of the BZ went to negative, pretty far deep into that negative right there, which means that the angle was drawing stuff in. Okay? And this is what we're going to have to pay attention to, because if this is staying this way when that CME gets here, you know, that's just going to add to it too. I'm not going to waste my time showing you that either, I don't think. It's just, yeah, I don't want to waste your guys' time. I want to get to what you guys want to hear right now, and that's how bad things are going to get, if they're going to get bad at all, and all that. I get it. That's probably what you guys want to see. So I'm just going to go straight to that. So I'm going to update this one here and this one here, and we'll take a look at it. But like I said, guys, I don't want anybody freaking out on none of this stuff. Right now, what we're seeing at conditions right now, guys, is normal stuff. Okay? So, hey, Sherelle, what's up? G-Miser. Emperor, what's up? And ABP, what's up? So, you know, conditions, that's why I'm not too concerned about showing you guys what's going on right now at this specific time. I'll hit the button here and we'll watch this one. This is the Australian model. And you're going to see it bouncing around. It's not going to do a whole lot. You'll see us take a little bit of an increase. It'll get up to like 10 right here on the density. This may go in a little bit. May not. It's not. It's kind of holding steady, right? That's because we are staying very consistently healthy as far as our geomagnetic magnetic field is really protecting us right now. Earth's doing its job. That's as simple as that. This is the geoelectric field. Now, we're going to come look at this a lot when this CME gets here. Because this is really going to show what everybody probably is really the most concerned about, and that's power. This is geomagnetic's effect on our electrical grids. It's space weather's effect on, hey George, space weather's effect on our electrical grid, artificial electrical components, transformers, wires, hey Jerry, and all the above. Sherelle, yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'll be live streaming all day tomorrow. I'll pop back in and out tomorrow, just to give everybody updates. I'm not going to, like, ignore that, you know. I want to keep you guys updated and all that. And just know, guys, you know, if some of the, like, power outage stuff does actually happen, you're probably going to know it. Hey, what's up, Tom? Favorite name right there on YouTube, Kim Skywalker. Love it. Oh no, you're in California, George? Crap, that sucks. Wow. Good morning, Palm Mom. Good to see you. G513, Christine's in the house. Axe is up in here. So yeah, guys, I mean, this is what we're going to come back and look at. Right now, this is very, very minimal, obviously. This is AIG. This is definitely something that we're going to look at. It just is. This is really what we're going to come look at. This is what people are concerned with the most. Because that's what would affect us the most if we started having issues here. So that's what everybody's going to be concentrating on, I guarantee it. What I'm going to concentrate on, I'm going to show you guys this, but I'm going to concentrate on looking at the data to see what I can see. See if I can give anybody some sort of an idea when, where, how big, how much, all of that. So with that being said, this is what I'm going to do right now. Geomagnetic activity right here. KP of 5 equals G1, and so on and so forth. It goes up. If you guys read my thumbnail, we're pretty much expecting a KP of at least 7, possibly an 8. What's that compute to? That computes to a G3 or a G4 storm. Hopefully, I am completely wrong on that. I hope I am. I really do. Now, even if I'm right, it's not world-ending stuff, okay? Again, I have to say, there are going to be people out there saying the sky's falling and all that kind of stuff, and it's not what's going on. All right? We're going to, you know, if you guys really want to know about, like, world-ending electrical grid type of stuff, you see this KP of 9 and a G5? We're going to have to be up here. Okay? We're going to be off the chart. So, that's what I'm saying. Outer Banks, that's cool, Bear. I love South Carolina, guys. Is that South Carolina or North Carolina? Can't remember. Might be North Carolina. No, it's South Carolina. I vacation in Myrtle Beach. I've been there quite a bit. But anyway, you know, a G5 storm, yes, that's not good. But we're talking like above a G5 if you want to start talking about like Carrington event stuff. Okay? And also, listen to this. Say we went to like a G3 or a G4 storm, but we stayed there for like a day. That can cause issues too, because that's a continuous hit. And, you know, that would affect transformers pretty bad. That intense increase of geomagnetic activity on that kind of stuff, the increase of that sticking around on those kinds of units and those kinds of artificial electrical components is not good at all. Not on them. If it's a quick blast, yes, it might trip out, but you can, you know, trip it back in and keep moving. If the stuff comes and sticks around, that's what you don't want to see. So just know that. So the next thing I want to do here, guys, is here is the CME. Okay, this is the latest what we got right now. You see how the energy is still leaving the sun. Now you're going to look at this, and it looks like it's going backwards, and I guess some of it could be going back to the sun. I'm not sure, but that's a pretty fair distance away from the surface for it to actually go back. It may be an optical illusion there. I'm not sure. So I'm not too concerned about that right now. But what I really want to show you is this. This is when it blasted yesterday. Okay? So it's getting ready here in the next hour or so right here. Watch over here. You're going to see it. Okay? So, yeah. That's what you get when you get a big CME. So let me take you guys over to Stereo A. And see, this is something else nobody's talked about either. You guys see this? That's off the backside. What did I say yesterday? What usually happens when we get a big CME? This is why it matters when we get CMEs off the backside. Like, say this big one that happened over here, and then we're like, oh, it ain't going to bother us, so who cares, right? Well, almost every time we get another CME 180 degrees going the other way, that is usually just a little bit less in strength from the initial one. That's exactly what we've seen with this one too. But the big one's coming at us right here. So if we go the next day, here's the other one. We're missing some data right there, but that's exactly what happened. that one there in itself is significant. And obviously it's going the opposite direction, so we ain't got to worry about it. But that's exactly what we're seeing there. And then here's the end of that, the other one. And you can see, guys, even as of right now, we still got material leaving the sun coming at us. So that's, let me move this one over so you guys can get a better look at this one. Okay? The satellite's here, Earth's over here. Nobody freak out over that. That's Venus. There ain't no city of lights over here on this freaking capture. Just know that. You got a CME blowing off the backside after the biggest one that blew off towards us. And again, that's Venus, okay? So yeah. Now, here is this too, right here. I wanted to show you guys this. We see this often when we get CMEs. Watch the initial stream here. You see, I'll show it to you again. Wish I could slow this down, but I can't. You see this this initial arc right here? That's the what that is. That's that solar coronal hole. That's what's carrying the initial dense energy, dense particles. Okay. But you see as the CME come in behind it and blast it, right? Watch what it does. It breaks that line. You see that? So what that's doing is it's grabbing some of those particles and carrying it with it, which makes the CME stronger. And that right there is evident of that. It's not just doing it right here. That's just showing you where it broke the line. It's doing it all the way across. So it's going to do it here too. And just like I showed you guys yesterday, that interplanetary shock wave. We would be remiss to sit here and not say that that's not going to happen here, because it's going to happen. You got faster charged particles going to catch up with slower ones. What's going to happen? There's going to be a shock wave there. How much it increases what we see, that's something we can't gauge yet. They're just now they were able to catch it in our own solar system like back in August of 2019. That was the first time they caught it visually. And I showed it to you guys yesterday. So, I'm going to go over these one more time. This is the geomagnetic storm levels and what we can expect. Okay? So, what we're looking at here, G1 storm. This is what we can expect. Not much. Okay? 1,700 times in an 11-year cycle. Right? In a solar cycle. One solar cycle, 11 years. We see these conditions 1,700 times. That's the number. That's the average. Right? We see it often, but it doesn't do much. We see some weak fluctuations in our power grid. Minor impacts on satellite stuff. Pretty much we don't even know it's happening. Okay, just so you guys know. That's what we look at there, right? So why do we talk about it when it happens? Because it's still a geomagnetic storm and we still need to be aware, because it is adding stuff to our whole system. And if we get something after that, when we're already raised at a particular level, it's going to make things worse. Not to mention that, like I just said, our geomagnetic field, our shields are down 20 to 25% than what they used to be. So a KP of 5 and a G1 storm could actually be a little bit worse. Or what would cause a G1 storm would be something a little bit less in strength than what it used to be. Okay? That's kind of what I'm saying there. Hopefully I didn't jack that one up too bad. You guys can understand that. So anyway, G2. Now, you guys asked, I was asked yesterday, what do I think, how far we're going to get in this geomagnetic storm level? I told you guys probably a G3. That's where I was sitting at. And I was hesitant to say a G4. But I really think that there's a chance that we're going to get there. just so you know. A G2 storm, approximately 600 times per year. Per sun cycle, I mean. What can we expect with that? Voltage alarms. The same things we see with G1, plus corrective actions may be required for spacecraft orientation. In other words, the spacecrafts, our satellites and stuff, may get jacked out of position and might need to put them back. And just like I was talking about earlier, long durations of these kinds of storms can cause what? Transformer damage. Okay? That's why the duration of it matters. G3. Now, like I said, if I had to put money on something at what level we were going to end up at, this would probably be it for me. So what are we looking at? Power systems may experience voltage alarms and require correction. What's that mean? That means like the transformers at the street on the poles, they may trip out. You know, you might have to see your electrical company come out and reset those and all kinds of stuff, right? Corrective action may be required for a spacecraft, just like a G2. Low frequency radio navigation problems may occur. Alright, now we're talking about communication problems. You know, first responders and all that. A G3 will happen about 200 times in an 11-year sun cycle. G4, which is, you know, I'm kind of 50-50 whether we're going to be on the G3 or the G4 side of it. Hopefully we're on the lower end. I'll just say that. A G4, everything that happens in a G3 plus, power systems may experience widespread voltage control problems. What does if you guys don't know nothing about electricity, know that voltage is actually the flow. Okay? If you think of it in terms of water, amperage is the actual power behind it. So if we've got this flow going all kinds of crazy directions and all kinds of crazy intensities, that can cause problems, right? So it says voltage control problems. Some protective systems will mistakenly trip out key assets from the grid. What does that mean? Exactly what I said about the transformers tripping out. And it can get bigger than that. When they say key assets, they're talking about like probably substation stuff tripping out. Bigger areas. So, yeah. Man. What the heck? Huh. Okay. So, a G5. Now, I don't think we're going to get here. Alright? But I'm not going to say that that's not even a possibility. Because I think that it, you know, we can all be wrong and it could actually get this bad, I guess. I don't think that it will. But I'm going to show it to you anyway. Everything that can happen on a G4 can happen in a G5. G5 storms occur approximately 4 times in an 11-year sun cycle. Okay, obviously that means they're rare. And I would have to go back and look and see when the last time we had a G5 during the first year of a solar cycle or the beginning of the second. I bet it hasn't happened very often. Just saying. Power systems may experience, again, widespread, all the stuff, right? Now, this is different here. The voltage control problems and some grid systems may experience complete, look guys, complete collapse or blackout. Okay, then we're talking some bad stuff. I'm talking extremely bad stuff. Then we're talking about grid sections going down. That's what this is saying. Spacecrafts may experience surface charging and tracking problems, which means that surface charging, the surface of the craft itself, starts getting a charge, and it can like fire into their electrical components inside for their controls and stuff. It can fry stuff. It can be bad. Why does that matter to us here on the surface? Let me tell you why. First off, you got communication satellites up there. Second off, we've got so many satellites up there now. If these things really get a good smack and they get destroyed, like to the fact where we can't control them, what are they going to do? They're going to fall back into our atmosphere. I don't hardly hear anybody talking about that, but that's the truth of what I'm saying. If you can't control or the satellite, what's it going to do? It's going to do whatever it wants, which includes coming back up into the atmosphere. Just saying. Satellite navigation degraded for days, just like what I just say. We're talking for days here. Pipeline currents can reach hundreds of amps. What I say about the amps? That's the power behind it. If you get that big blast along with a voltage increase, guys, that's not good. That's that right there is what fries the lines. 1859 Carrington event. Telegraph lines got smoked on the sun-facing side of the Earth. It took a bigger hit than what the dark side of the Earth took. Now, the whole Earth will take a hit, no matter where this hits or when it hits. But yes, the side that's facing the sun, when that does hit, will take a harder hit. So, now if we get the big, like over a G5 was what I would call it, or a really extremely high G5, it ain't going to matter. All that energy will come around and it'll start smoking everything. But, a lower G5, yes, it's going to matter. And again, our geoelectric field, our geomagnetic field that protects us is weaker, 20 to 25%. So it will not take as big of a hit to get us into these kinds of conditions. I want to point that out. So again, just a little review. A G3 is really where I think we're going to kind of end up. Maybe on the higher end of this. Possibly a G4. I guess I'll rephrase this. Maybe I'm at like a 60% we're going to get here. And a 40 maybe here. Here, I don't think we're going to get here. There is an outside chance. I would give it like a 1% chance in my own mind. Okay? I don't think we're going to get here. I hope we don't. I hope I'm wrong about all that and we see this. Okay? I really do. I hope I can come back up on here after this storm is here and gone. And I can say, hey guys, we missed it. The model showed us the wrong thing. We didn't have the data right, and I'm sorry, but this is what it is. Does that, destroy people's credibility? Let me tell you why it doesn't. It's because people that just destroy their credibility come out here and say, this is what they'll do. Hey guys, we may get to this. Look at this, look at this. We may get to this. Yeah. And then they stop. They don't show you nothing else. They're not going to show you, hey, we may get to this because of this. That's what they're not giving you. Because they don't know. They just want to make big, huge claims to get clicks, views, and money. That's all it's about. So if none of this stuff that I'm talking about right now happens, first off, I guess I could say that the whole internet would be wrong. Every scientist that's talking about this right now is saying the same thing I am. Pretty close to it anyway. Not, we're going to differ a little bit in what we think might be happening. But it's pretty close to the same stuff. I'm just glad that I'm now seeing other people talk about this difference in the uptick here. Because nobody else was. I was really the only one saying that, guys. I'm glad that other people are now going to start talking about it because it matters. I want people to understand that. I don't care if, tell people all about this. Don't put my name on it. I don't give a crap about my name. I just want people to understand that that's what's actually happening. I don't care about my name out there. I want people to know the information. That's it. Because it matters. It matters to me. And I hope it matters to you guys that you guys are going to know that if something does happen and what used to really cause a small issue can now cause a big one because of our electromagnetic field being weaker. I want people to know that. I don't care if it comes from me, you, the wall, the dog, the cat, the butthead over here on another channel that nobody likes. I don't care where it comes from as long as they're telling people that. That's it. It's really that simple for me. Now, I'll show you earthquake stuff real quick. Okay, I do want to make a point here. There's something here I noticed. I don't know if it means anything. But I was looking at this, and, you know, I start clicking on these. That's a 5-1, right? That's a 5. That's a 5-1. That's a 5-4. A 5. A 5-1. You guys hear the pattern there? And it's all hanging right around, you know, at least these right here are kind of hanging right around the equator. This one here is kind of a little far south. But, yeah. Makes you wonder, guys. You know, we got hit with a little bit of that x-ray yesterday. And even here, guys, that's a 4-5. But let me turn them all on. I like doing this for you guys because I want you guys to understand that you have to really do this. If you don't, you're not really going to see the activity that we're actually having. At least the amount of them. Notice where all of them are happening right now. So as I zoom in on this, yes, we can tell it's swarming, but watch at the amount that you get to see here as I zoom in. Okay, we got now we got like 2 little areas here that are actually swarming. Really 3, maybe even 4. Watch when I zoom into these. Watch the number right here in Mina. Watch the number that we see. Look at all those. So there's activity going on seismically, okay? And I would point you guys over to Ron Tyler and obviously Dutch to go check that stuff out. Ricky, she's in here a lot. She's one of my mods. She knows what's going on too. Hey, Angelo, boogie down from the Bronx. I would agree with you, Angelo. Religion is definitely a tough subject. It's a touchy subject. People get very offended because there are such strong opinions and feelings on that, as well there should be. Okay, I would say that too. And I think that Hilly does a really good job of trying to walk that line with still being loving, but at the same time putting out the information that he wants to get out there, that he feels that needs to be put out there. Sometimes you have to have that little bit of a strong arm, guys. Now, you don't have to go crazy with it like some people do, and I've never seen Hilly do that. So, if you guys really want a good, you know, channel to go over and check for, you know, religious stuff and, you know, Bible teachings and things like that, Hilly, in my opinion, is who I would send people to right away. Hilly, you could drop your link in there. Somebody else, one of my other mods, can drop it for him too if they want. You guys should go check him out, give him a sub. At the very least, you guys are going to learn something about Bible. And you're going to learn some love over there. Okay? That's at the very least. Because I can tell you this man right here cares. He cares about all you guys. So, just know that. Even if you don't believe in what he's trying to teach, he still cares. So, that's what I would say. Hey, Muse, what's up? Hey, it's your birthday. Happy birthday to you. You live in a zoo. Look around you. Just kidding. Hey, Baker. Yeah, for sure. Happy birthday, man. Or girl. Are you a girl or a guy? Sorry. Yeah, Hilly dropped my PayPal link there. Guys, I want to say thanks to everybody doing that for me, too. Let me put the dono list up here real quick. I got to add some more to this, guys. Again, I can't get them all in one thing now. I do appreciate it. You know, I can use it just like everybody else. And you know, I used to feel bad about, and I still do. I don't like doing this. I used to feel bad about even bringing this up. You know, I'm not going to come out here and tell everybody, oh, got it so bad. Well, guys, we all got it bad. Okay? And some of us do have it worse than others. But just know that I can use it, and I do appreciate it. And, you know, there's other people out there, too, that do. You know, support the people that you want. And I am very humbled that you guys would even think of me, you know. EMP shield? Yeah, guys, Angel talks about something good there. Let me show you something real quick. Let me show you something. Just hang tight here real quick with me just for 1 second. I'll give you guys a really good way to go get that EMP shield. This is Mark Pyers, guys. You guys know this is my good friend, okay? He's a great guy, all about the positivity. Let me hit that like right there. He must have just dropped that a little while ago. So let me do this. If you guys go to his any of his videos, go down here, and he's got EMP shield. You'll get a discount with this link. Okay? So if you guys click on this link right here, you'll get a discount on that. Something else I want to say here, guys. You know, I don't do the sponsorship thing, and that's what this is. But I would suggest everybody, and I mean everybody, get a virtual shield. If you guys don't know what that is, what that does is it's a VPN. And what that stands for, Variable Pin Network. IP address is what that is. Your address of your computer. If you don't have that a variable thing, which means that you can jump off into any, like, you can pick the country you want your computer to be located at. So it makes it extremely hard for people to break your security with that. These things, if you're by yourself, like with just one, if you want 1 to 3 devices to have this VP shield, this virtual shield, it's $5 a month. And it doesn't slow your system down whatsoever. What's my opinion on EMP shield? I do think that they do work. You got to have them right, okay? You know, the electromagnetic pulse shield is what that stands for. An EMP is essentially a big, huge CME. Okay? So, that's why we suggest this. Not only will it protect you from nefarious people detonating EMPs, but it will also protect you from the big flares and stuff that come from the sun. Right? But I have to say this. If you're going to protect your components in your house and stuff, every piece of equipment that's inside your house that you're trying to protect, you still have to have a power source to run those. So if you're not going to protect the power source at the same time, like a generator, it's no good to you. They won't work. You might be able to put batteries in certain things, but you can't. You're going to have a power source, guys. A lot of people overlook that. They think, oh, I got the CMP thing, it's plugged into my house, I can forget about it. No. Because you still have to have a power source to run everything. You might have saved that device or that piece of equipment, but if you don't have nothing to run that equipment, what good is it? Forcing climate info. What are you saying there, buddy? I don't know what you're asking. When do we notice the CME? I went over that for about a half hour, probably before you got here. I can answer that again real quick. But if it's a thanks for nothing kind of thing, you can kick rocks, brother. Have fun. Anyway, I'll answer your question just because I care. Right here is the time frame. The 9th to the 10th. I've always tried to answer everybody's questions, so yes, I do take offense to that. And frankly, I don't care if you think I don't. So anyway, there it is. It's right there. I'm not angry. I'm being truthful. You're mistaking my honesty and my truthfulness for anger. I'm serious when I say that. If you want to pop in here and say what you said here, which is, okay, he does everything to not answer. Thanks for nothing. Dude, how would you respond if I said that to you? You know how I responded? If that's how you feel, then you can kick rocks. Did I get angry? No. Am I angry now? No. I'm just pointing out what you said. So, there you go. And if I was angry, I wouldn't have answered your question. But there it is. I don't get angry, guys. Very seldom do I get angry. People are going to say what they need to say. I know. It's good, man. We're all good. I just, I try my, listen, Forcing, this is what I'll say. I try my best to answer the questions that everybody has. And I've been on here now for how long have I been on here? 45 minutes explaining everything I just said. I gave the time frame and all that. And the first comment you say is that. It's kind of hard not to take offense to that. And if that had been anybody else's channel or chat box or room or whatever, most likely they probably would have booted you. I didn't even put you on timeout or anything like that. I just answered your question. So that's why. So please don't think I'm doing anything like that. I do, I try my best. I really do. So that's what I'll say to that. But to answer his question again here too, this help everybody else too that just kind of come in late. Right here. That's the time frame, okay? Right now we're about right here. So here in about the next 24 hours, we should start seeing the first parts of this. Okay? Actually, probably a little bit before that, we're going to start seeing the increase in density right here before midnight UTC. Okay? So, if you guys, and it looks as though the density part of it's going to be over within 24 hours. And, but I want to stress, guys, look here. Okay, the wind speed itself is actually going to stay up there. So please know that. That's going to be a continuous thing for a minute, all right? So, that's what I would say, guys. And, I really hope that everything I just said, I really hope we don't get to a G4. Not that it's going to be the end of the world type of thing, because it won't. It just means that we will be, a little bit of issue, possibly. Forcing Climate, guys, he's a good dude, okay? I think maybe he just kind of came at me wrong. So, I really do. I think Forcing's a pretty good dude. He's in here a lot. If it's a woman, I'm sorry if I'm using the wrong pronoun there. Sometimes, guys, I do kind of pop off. I try not to. I really do. Sometimes things like that, I really do. I do. I try hard. And sometimes I do lose it like that a little bit, I guess. I don't know if you guys call that losing it or not. I don't think I lost it. If I had lost it, like I said, I do. Guys, I really try to have my chat as open as I possibly can. And I do that because I want everybody to feel like they have an input and they have, something to say. And people want to hear what everybody wants to say. And if you close that off for somebody, you're damaging them. Even if they're being buttheads and mean and stuff. We don't have to be like that. Just saying. But yeah, thanks, Christine. I appreciate that. So, guys, I am going to go ahead and end it here. I really didn't really want it to go 45 minutes because I want people to pop in here. Thanks, Isaiah. I appreciate that. I want people to kind of get up in here. And Cosmo, hey, love to all you guys. Really. And, you know, guys, let me show you guys this one more time because I can't say this enough. I don't think you guys understand how much this actually is helping me right now. I don't come out here and put my issues out here like that, you know, and I'm not going to. I have my own issues just like everybody else, and I'm not, you know, smashing people that do come out and tell people their issues because you need to sometimes. If you need, you know, if you really need that kind of help. But I want to tell you guys how much I really appreciate and how much I'm humbled the fact that you guys think of me enough to do something like this. You know, that to me is the ultimate show of love when somebody will do something without being asked. And that's what I try to reciprocate that back to you. Or even I start that. Actually, I try to start that for everybody. And that's what I would say to that. So thank you guys for everybody that's done it. I know everybody's name ain't on this one particular page here. I try to show everybody. I did have a donation come in yesterday from Susan. Susan, if you're hearing this, thank you so much. Is that you? Maybe that's you. I'm not sure if that was your last name. But it was substantial, guys. So it was really, really appreciated. I can't tell you guys how humbled I am. And you know, that's why I guard you guys so much. Because I care. I care about you guys. And you guys are showing that back right here. And you don't have to show it here because you show it enough in the chat room. I got so much back from you guys way before I even ever dropped a PayPal link. And you guys know the struggle I had with even doing that. Anybody that's been around for a minute, you guys know how hard I pushed against that. But if I ever catch myself trying to make a video just because I want to try to get a couple donations, that will be the first time you see me pull my PayPal link down, and it will never come back up. Just so you know. Because I'm not going to do that. I'm just not going to make a video for clicks, views, and money. It's not me. And I won't do it. That's not what this channel's about. You know, people that are trying to do it for their job, they need to do that. They need to point that out. And even though they're making videos every day, they're not making those videos to try to make money. They are on the back end of that, but what they're doing is, the majority of them, at least the ones I go to, like Mark Pyers and everybody else in that whole genre, they're trying to stay doing something positive, and they can't do that unless they can get supported in that way. So that it's almost a necessity, and that's what I try to say. Thanks, Jerry. I appreciate that. So, guys, I am going to go ahead and get off here. Thanks, Jill. And Jill, hey, your donations don't go unnoticed. I want you to know that. I'm not, like I said, I don't drop people's business and stuff out there, what they've donated and everything. But just know your donations have not gone unnoticed at all, whatsoever. Nobody's has. But let me tell you guys something. I'm going to do a little giveaway on some of the stuff that was given to me. I'm going to try to give back to you guys. So here about a week before Christmas, or maybe a little sooner, I'm going to try to do something with some sort of a gift card or something like that, so you guys can have at least a little bit of something back. You know, maybe somebody that doesn't have a whole lot, we can try to help them out with a gift card, you know, from some sort of drawing or whatever, and maybe help with a better Christmas. Who knows? I know, Jill. I know, but I want to help too, you know. I do. I want to give back as much as I can. So, anyway, God bless. Yahusha saves.